And this makes sense. The fact we have this limestone and this further deeper down layer of igneous rock that formed from the 3 billion to 4 billion years of Earth's early existence, and that magma eventually hardens, and that's showcased here in this black rock at the bottom. But then we have uplift, and so that uplift created from the Appalachian Mountains forming. And so what was today, or what Indiana was historically at the bottom of a shallow sea, because you had plates converging on other sides and, far away from Indiana, what it ended up causing was it caused uplift. And so it caused all this rock to rise. And so as it rose, what ended up happening was it rose above sea level. And so now we have this rock that's above sea level. And then we can go to the next slides to explain the next layers that are on top of this Indiana bedrock. And this is now illustrating the uplift that occurred, and now that put that shallow sea, which had all that limestone, is now above the sea level. So then that makes it now capable of being weathered and eroded, all the various things we're going to talk about in the remaining parts of this supplemental video. One of the things, if you flip back and look at that previous slide, is it shows Indiana essentially right there at the equator. And so that means it was very much in an area of tropical rainforest, which has a ton of rain. And a ton of rain and a ton of sun, like we've showcased before regarding tropical rainforest, is going to produce a ton of vegetation. And so the vegetation that you saw overwhelmingly here, because Indiana was in a quite tropical area, was the same kind of rainforest you'd see in the Amazon today, or in equatorial Africa. And so you had a ton of living things, and a ton of those living things, of course, died, and you've got this material very rich in organic matter. And so you got all these trees, all the leaves, everything that ever lived in this area, keep in mind, millions and millions of years, as a tropical rainforest, then eventually leaves this layer of an organic rich material which continues to build on top of that material over time. So think about Indiana being a rainforest, a swampy area, all that vegetation eventually decomposes, but then continues to layer on top of more decomposed material. And so that continued decomposed layer after layer then leaves behind this other natural resource that we're going to talk about in the next few slides. And so this brown is trying to illustrate that organic material, as Indiana was at this rainforest, tropical rainforest area. And so all that material, all that organic stuff, then eventually decomposes, and we can illustrate that here with this brown layer. And that brown layer then over time metamorphosizes, so it changes its characteristics. And so with temperature, with pressure, with various things you'll learn in geology class, what ends up happening is that organic rich material becomes coal, becomes oil. So one of the things about oil is it takes millions and millions of years to form. So this material here, this layer, eventually gets buried under other layers of sediment, and then of course becomes capable of being mined as we have techniques to go down and probe and access that coal or access that oil.